Okay, good afternoon. Well, I'm first of all, very happy to be here with you talking about this topic and exploring this topic with our panel this afternoon. It's a topic that fascinates me, and it's clearly something that we will have to learn more and more for the future. You guys are practicing today what is going to be normal in the future. So, I prepare some questions, but before we start, I would like each one of us to briefly just to introduce ourselves to you, for you, the audience, to know who we are. I can start. My name is Newton. I'm a professor of entrepreneurship at IE Business School here in Madrid. I also teach at FGV in São Paulo. It's a local business school in Brazil. I'm Brazilian. And I also as a hobby, I like to do hiking, and I like to play the guitar, Spanish guitar. So,
okay.
if you would like to.
Yeah, I'm Victor Gonzalez. I'm ACS Recycling Purchasing and Marketing Manager. And what I love to do in my free time is horse riding competitions and spending time with my friends.
Nice, thank you.
Hi, thank you for the invitation and letting us to explain our point of view in this activity. My name is Domingo Jimenez. I'm General Manager of SACIR Circular, who is the branch specializing in waste treatment in SACIR. And I try to enjoy weekly for a run in Retiro Park.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yes, Alberto?
Hi. First, congrats to the staff of the summit. You are doing a really good job. And thanks everyone for coming to this panel. I'm Alberto Esteban. I'm working as a CEO of Hiragwin. Hiragwin is a company for managing the decommissioning and recycling wind farms, and in my free time, I like to spend time with my family and traveling all together.
Okay, thank you. Try to put your mic a bit closer. You, Alberto. Yeah,
Me?
Thank you. Closer, yeah. Okay, and finally, David.
I think it's my turn. So thanks, Nelson, and thanks to the organization for proposing this exciting topic. My name is David Romero. I'm the head of operation of Reciclalia. Reciclalia is a startup company, a green tech company, which has several technologies for recycling glass fiber and carbon fiber that you can find, for instance, in the wind turbine blades or aircrafts. So I've been working in the environmental sector for the last 20 years, yes, more or less. And in my free time, despite I'm a huge fan of nature and environment, I think I share the same hobby to you, that because I love music.
Okay.
And I used to compose my own songs and to
cool.
play the bass guitar.
Nice.
So we can say you are at the Lennon and McCartney of the South Summit, you and I.
Yeah, we should, yeah.
So it's what I use my time for.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's start from the beginning with Victor. Victor, look, I'm sure, because I meet people every day. I didn't mention to you, but besides being a professor, I also invest in entrepreneurs, and we constantly talk about the role of recycling in the futures in the companies that they are growing or they are starting. And my question to you is, if you could share with us, if a business owner wants to start reducing their environmental impact, how can they start? I mean, what are the very first steps that anyone willing to reduce their impact should follow, if you could help us?
Okay, I'm going to talk about the recycling aspects. First of all, we have to know that recycling correctly, it has economic cost for all of us, for companies, and then as a plant manager, that I every day go to search for waste, in concretely e-waste that I'm going to talk about after it. It's to say that we have to put in balance the economy and the waste. So companies must put more in balance the treatment of the waste, the good treatment, than economic ones. Nowadays, we are talking that here in Spain, I talk in Spain because it's where I work, no? We are recycling 20% of e-waste. I'm talking more of e-waste because my company, ACS Recycling, is a plant treatment of e-waste recycling, electronic and electric recycling. And we have a big problem of it because companies, what they mind is only the, like I said, the cost, the economy. They only mind what they are going to spend in throwing the waste, and they don't think about our planet, our environmental problems. No, so I say them, please do correctly things, and doing correctly things, it has a cost, economic cost. Okay. So also focus on that doing these correct things. There are companies behind that are recycling companies that they do good things, other that they are authorized and they don't do good things. We are in a moment, a difficult moment for waste because all the administrations and all people are talking that we are doing the things very good, the best things, but it's not like that. I'm going to say you that we are working very hard for knowing what's happening with the waste, and we know that we have the 20% of the 100% in Spain that we are taking, and what is happening with the other 80%. This is a question that I laid you for answering or searching, but I say you this 80% is going to poor countries. As you know, we are throwing the rubbish there. We don't mind what's happening there, and also we are throwing the rubbish or the e-waste to iron smelters, where they smelt all of it and they convert it in iron. But what's happening with all the components and all other materials that are inside. Now, I'm going to put an example. If you think about a printer, okay, inside the printer there are a lot of components, crystal and raw materials, crystal, plastics, toners, cables, a lot of materials. And what is happening with this if we throw it into the iron smelters? It's all going, we don't know where, And this is a big problem we are finding in. And the thing I say to my customers, to my clients is, please go and look what's happening with your rubbish, with your waste. Go and see the plants. Go, and you might want to see what are they doing with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Very good hint. Domingo, let's see. Would you mind sharing with us an overview of how waste management has been conducted in Europe and around the world? How far we are as humans from being able to deal with most of the waste we generate?
Well, in my opinion, the first practice for waste disposal was simply disposal in landfills. Mm-hmm. And there is an environmental huge problem with that. And the processes has been evolving from decades, from the 60s, 70s, has started to make a separate collection and resource recovery. In terms of leading worldwide, I think that Europe is leading absolutely, especially in other countries in waste-to-energy process, but not the sole leader, because, for example, Australia, where we are managing a facility in Melbourne, Australia, for waste, and they are very concerned, and they have developed a strong regulation to avoid export of waste, as my colleague has told before. So they are very, very concerned, and I think they are leading now this world of waste treatment and recovery, resource recovery. And how far are we from the good? I think we are pretty far.
Wow.
But good news, we are in the right way.
Okay.
So we do know what we have to do. Mm-hmm. And it begins with education, separate collection, improve processes, investment. There is a huge niche market with the recovery resource, with the energy, bioenergy, biogas, electricity, heat from all this process. And I think this is very, very interesting investment possibilities in this activity.
Thank you.
looking forward to the future.
For your transparency, and it makes us think what is pending for each one of us to push forward this agenda. Alberto, you are addressing a very interesting aspect of sustainable mentality. It's starting an initiative of dismantling and recycling of wind turbines in wind farms. Where this idea came from, how do you treat all the parts of a wind turbine and integrate them back into,
the market?
How do you do that? It's
very
interesting.
I think the key word is innovation.
Is what?
Innovation.
Innovation, okay.
Innovation is in the DNA of Naturi Group, okay? In fact, Naturi has a subsidiary in Nova Hub just for it. So under this umbrella, we have designed a new company with other partners for Hira Wind, for the commissioning and recycling wind turbines in wind farms, okay? So it means the complete wind turbine and the entire wind farm. So we start at the wind farm with dismantling all of the wind turbine.
So these are farms that are old, right?
Yeah.
Or they are the end of their life cycle?
It's the wind farm they want to repair.
How old?
25 years.
25 years.
25 years.
So they don't generate as energy as they did before?
Not exactly, but more or less, okay?
It's interesting, right, to see this, how you recycle something that was already designed to be sustainable. It's really a challenge.
Yeah, we're going to start with the wind farm. They were built around at the beginning of the century. Okay? So we dismantled all the wind turbine at the wind farm with transport of all of the components to our plants. So we check and we fix all the components, and in this way we can put on the market again the wind turbine. Okay? If we cannot do it, we repair the most important components like gearbox, generator, and everything about the electricity. Okay? And in that way we can have a stock for customers.
I see.
Okay? And if we cannot do it, nothing with the wind turbine, so we recycle the wind turbine, including the blades. Okay, we are going to recycle the blades using different technologies, and we are going to recover the fiberglass of the blades.
Okay.
So we are going to start in one plant in Soria, and later we are going to expand to other regions in Spain and in Europe.
Interesting. Thank you.
It's an ambitious program.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, David, what do you mean by achieving an efficiency recycling system, as you state? How do you measure efficiency in waste management or recycling? How do you do that?
Yes, it's an interesting question, because our mission here as a green tech company is trying, and I think you mentioned, is trying to make the green energy or the wind energy a greener energy, even more greener than actually. What we are doing in Reciclalia is recycling also the wind turbines, specifically the wind blades, the nacelles, this part made of composite materials. So from my perspective, efficient is the ability to achieve certain goals using less resources as possible. Okay. So the first idea, or the first thing we did when we created Reciclalia was to define exactly this objective. So the first target, the first objective was to design a recycling technology from the environmental perspective or environmental friendly perspective. So this implies obviously not only taking into account the related environmental impacts of the recycling process, but also trying to reduce the energy demand of the recycling process itself, or even other resources you need to process the blade. The second objective, of course, was trying to retain as many properties as possible of the recycled materials. And this is because this is not only a matter of recycling. You know, actually, I always like to say that recycling is an old-fashioned concept, you know, because the complete picture must include the reutilization of the recycled composite materials in industrial applications. I mean, in high-value industrial applications. This is what we call circular economy. Reciclalia is a company focused on the circular economy, and there is nothing new in there. You know, it's something that happens in nature every day with the ecosystems. So,
if you can improve the quality of the material that will go back.
Exactly, this is the point. So, for example, just a few words about what we did. We use a thermal recycling technology for recycling blades, also aircraft, and unlike other standard thermal processes, we heat the material with a lower temperature. That way, we can reduce the energy demand, we can reduce the operating or the cost of operations. And just for giving you some data, another approach is, for example, chemical recycling processes use around 25 kilowatts per hour per kilo of recycled materials. In our case, we are using only 1 kilowatts. Wow. So this is, for example, something that, because of that, I said we have an efficient recycling system. Okay. And just for giving another quickly data, it's because it's the second objective, trying to produce high-quality recycled materials. In our case, we are producing these recycled composite materials, reducing around 7% of the mechanical properties comparing with the virgin ones. So this is a very great achievement, believe me, in this field.
Thank you. Interesting
Welcome.
perspective. Okay, let's start with Victor again, or come back to Victor. Do you have like initiatives to educate your customers or their final users about the relevance of recycling? How relevant is for you, or for your practice, to have your customers on board with the recycling mentality? How do you do this part of, making them conscious about it?
Yeah, the first thing to know is that behind companies there are people taking decisions, so there are no machines. So what's happening after it's a decision of a person. This is the first thing. And then I have a theory that if people recycle at home, they do it in their company, and they are going to work hard for the company to do it. So this is the first thing that I always ask to my customers if they recycle at home. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Domingo, what are your expectations in terms of growth to the recycling business for Sacyr? What roles do circular economy plays as it evolves?
Well, the new regulations are obliging all the communities, all the regions in the worldwide to make a huge investment to improve recycling process and resource recovery. So I think there is a huge market niche in this activity. And there are other activities that we are thinking are working in Sacyr, for example, similar to the one that has been mentioned before. For example, for renewable vehicles, electric cars, what we will do with batteries when they finish their life cycle. So we are searching, we are working with some startups. This is a good place to start. And we are working in all this market that will come without doubt.
Okay, thank you. Alberto, as just mentioned, in the future, things like wind farms, electric cars, they will also have to be recycled, right? So like the batteries and all the parts and etc. So by a large number. So how do you think that the recycling industry will evolve? Do you think it will get specialized in industries, like in cars or in farm winds or in materials?
Of course.
Or how do you see that the recycling industry will grow in the future?
Well, today I have been talking about wind farms or wind turbines.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be solar panels.
Yes.
batteries from cars, batteries from laptops,
Yeah.
chips from device, batteries from cellular phones.
Yeah.
So we need the governments must invest in all innovation. I mean, governments like
Innovation for recycling.
of course, but governments has to invest or have to invest in innovation for everything. Governments from China, India, USA, no, they have to invest because well-known companies like Sacyr, like ACS, they can spend money in innovation or in researching, but we need more people invest in this kind of business because, like a famous brand says, there is no planet B.
But do you see, for example, yourselves like being more specialized in wind farms, or perhaps also, specialized in one of the materials, or in the turbine, or in the blades? I mean, how do you see that this might evolve?
First, we need to recover the raw materials.
The what?
The raw materials.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
To reuse
Uh-huh.
the device or the batteries or the something like this, and using for second life. The specialization, of course. I think there is no company just for everything.
Yeah.
I prefer to specialize just in one area because you are better.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
David,
Yes.
how could manufacturers collaborate more with recycling companies to design more products that are more recycling friendly, since the beginning?
Yes. I think you say you use the proper words, which is collaboration. Collaboration is the key. Collaboration. I think both Alberto and Domingo talk about the collaboration between companies. For me, this is the key. But this collaboration is not restricted to manufacturers. We have to involve, or we have to think bigger and involve in this process to the complete value chains. And by value chains, I mean product manufacturers or material manufacturers, designers, investors, you mentioned, for example, manufacturers, recycling companies,
distributors,
end users, again, in this context of circular economy. So this collaboration will be possible to work together in a more sustainable materials, more sustainable products, and facilitating the recyclability of these materials, So cross-company, cross-sectorial, collaboration, from my perspective, will be crucial or must be mandatory for working towards this real sustainability. Because I think there's a lot of knowledge in companies, in small companies, in bigger ones, a lot of knowledge in research centers, but usually this knowledge remains within the walls of these organizations.
I see.
Exactly. So from my perspective, again, I think the key challenge here is how to connect this of the best knowledge every time to solve a specific problem. So this is my point of view of how everybody can collaborate in from the transparency and from an honest collaboration for a successful challenge.
Thank you for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
We are reaching the end. We have to finish our panel. Yes, sure.
I have an open question for all of you. I think we are in a big problem because we are producing products that now for us are green, environmental, good, but then when we have to recycle, there's no solution for them. No plastics. Now we have the solar panels. They are sending us solar panels to recycle, and there's no solution for it. So why we are producing objects without solution?
That are not recyclable.
So the problem is in the beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a very good question. I would like just to make like a final round of, let's say, outcome or just in one word, if we could, I was, as you were, exploring these topics, I was thinking that I like to hike in distant places, and sometimes I see like human tribes, very isolated, and they have the recycling aspect of their lives completely solved. So I tend to believe that we do that by nature. We can't do that. But as we grow in number of people and it's get more complex, we have to collaborate more. We have to actually, work more together to solve this. And so if I could summarize a bit what I see now and how we can perhaps move forward, is if I could summarize, it's like facing complexity. Would that be I would like if you could guys share in 1, 2 words or expression something that you would leave for them.
Complex problems needs complex solutions.
Yeah.
And for achieving a complex solution, we need investment, collaboration, research, innovation.
Yeah.
All these kind of words are needed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I think there is one lesson to learn, for example, with the pandemic or with the current war in Ukraine. We are losing lots of raw materials in the current of the stream of waste and energy also, and we have a lack. So
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You have to finish. I
feel so
much.
bad. Listen, ladies and gents, please give a round of applause for our fabulous panelists. That was a great session. Thank you so much for joining us.